going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Having a child by someone can be a beautiful thing. If you and that person are connected in a relationship or even just have a mutual understanding to co-parent and raise the baby. But that's on the brighter side of things. It all starts out good. But if the relationship goes bad, a lot of anger and resentment can come from either side, mother or father. You might have child support hearings, one parent feeling like they are a better fit, which causes custody hearings or ways to provide visitation rights to the non-custodial parent. It can be a messy process, and as the child gets older, both mother and father move on with new people. Now you have step parents adding their 2 cents to the mix, building the anger and resentment to whole new levels. And once it goes to the system, if court don't go their way or they simply don't like their child's other parent anymore for whatever reasons, but you just can't block a person out and expect them not to fight to be a part of their baby's world and be a good parent, especially if they are focused and determined. I'm talking about grown-up, real parent energy, not just baby mother, baby father, one MIA, and the other raising their seed on their own. Signals can get crossed, and outside influences, including new significant others, can lead to drama. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to Fayetteville, Georgia, to discuss a case of a man returning his daughter to his baby mother that turned fatal. Back in 2020, military vet, new husband, and father, 38-year-old Joshua Kellen, or Josh to family and friends, was a hardworking man living in New York. His oldest child at the time, a daughter, was 10 years old, and his youngest daughter, almost 2. Josh also had a son and a wife he was almost married to for 2 years. Life was good, but there was one problem. Josh's oldest daughter lived all the way in Georgia with her mother, Don Harmon. Don had also moved on and had a husband named Jermaine Harmon. Life was also going good for the Harmons. Don was stated to be a nurse with a nice home in Fayette County, Georgia. But Don and Josh allegedly had problems co-parenting. Josh would often travel all the way from Brooklyn, New York to Georgia to attend daddy-daughter dances and school events for his daughter and was determined to fight for joint custody. After years of going back and forth, but to his favor, Josh would win the court hearing, getting his daughter for the summer. The man was said to be super happy. Now she could spend more time with her other siblings. But allegedly on Don's end, she was mad, forced to cover court costs. Josh went to pick up his daughter for the summer, and all went well. They had a good time, and the man was happy to be able to have his child for months at a time. It was now almost time for school to start back, and time for his daughter to return to her mother in Georgia. On July 31st, 2020, Josh headed down south to drop his baby girl off to her mother. The exchange went well. He took her to Don and Jermaine with her belongings. But about to return to Rhode Island, the next day on August 1st, Josh realized he made a mistake. He took his daughter's backpack and gave her one of his bags with important documents, including his social security card, his wife's, other children's, and birth certificates. Trying to get the items back, Josh tried calling Don, but no one would answer. His wife even attempted to call as well, but it was the same results. The man then reached out to local police to see if he could have them escort him to the home to grab his documents. Josh and the local sheriff went to the home, but Dawn stated she didn't have the documents and haven't seen them at all. Josh insisted she did, but it was her word against his, and he had to leave. Later that day, Josh decided he couldn't leave without his paperwork. He returned to the home to get the documents. He called before knocking on the door. Just seconds later, a shot went off, striking Josh in the chest, while his daughter and child's mother were at the home. Police were soon called to Don's and Jermaine's house on Wilkins Road in the Kenwood Acres subdivision. As they got on the scene, they noticed Josh shot and bleeding out. He was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, he did not survive. The bullet pierced his heart. Police started an investigation, speaking to Don and Jermaine, in which they stated Josh was being aggressive. An altercation started between him and Jermaine shot him. It was at first deemed a case of trespassing and self-defense, as it seemed Josh made a mistake by going back to the home. But as Josh's wife and other family members gave authorities information, the situation seemed a little bit shaky. An investigation started back up. Nearly 3 months would go by as police returned to Don's and Jermaine's home and asked to check her phone for evidence. Also after hearing, she allegedly lied to her and Josh's daughter, telling the young girl police shot her father instead of Jermaine. Things wasn't adding up. While searching her phone, it was a recorded conversation between Don and her father, which the woman was laughing, stating Josh left all his important documents and keeps calling, but I'm not giving them back. But she told Josh and sheriffs she didn't see the documents at all. The couple were charged as events came out of Don and Jermaine allegedly being the aggressors. He was charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm by a felon. Don was hit with giving false statements and tampering with evidence. The couple's people wrote a petition alleging the county of Fayetteville, Georgia, seized Don's and Jermaine's home, put their 2 younger children in foster care, and illegally charged them after deeming the shooting self-defense, stating Josh was an intruder and they had the right to defend their home. But as the case made it to trial, a different version of events came out, of Josh calling his child's mother and Jermaine for the documents, no one answering, knowing they really had the paperwork, in which later at trial, Don admitted to having it and shredding it all up. It was stated that when Josh went back, Jermaine opened the door, gun in hand, punched Josh, then shot him, while the man's daughter was home. Then they lied to her, stating police did it. Eventually, they both were found guilty. Don receiving 15 years, all suspended but 5 for her charges, and Jermaine life in prison for his charges. Rest in peace to Josh. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. I feel for his older daughter. That whole situation of losing both parents due to what to me seemed like a petty situation because her mother seemed bitter and gassed her husband up with hot air to hit her father. I know it's 2 sides to every story, but Dawn admitted she lied and shredded the paperwork, then told her daughter her father was hit by police. To me, that's cold and calculated. Co-parenting can be hard, but we gotta accept the fact, even if we don't like the other parent, if they are willing to be a part of the child's life and are not putting them in harm's way, there's nothing we can do about that, but be grown and accept that, not bitter and angry. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, that's a crazy story. Rest in peace to Josh, man. I send my prayers and condolences to his family, especially his daughter, his wife, his other kids. But yeah, y'all heard the story. Leave it in the comments. Y'all already know, be respectful. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This your boy Tony 2 times. This another episode of Hood Tales. Love, fam. I'm out.